This is episode 4 of our fighter playthrough of Baldur's Gate. We're gonna head south
Not a
to
problem.
Beregost. Gonna fight some gibberlings along the way.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Yes?
Gibberlings really aren't that much of a
Not a
threat
problem.
anymore because we have our party of 6.
And the rivers run red!
We have kobolds here. Kobolds
And the rivers run red!
Kobolds could potentially snipe us, so we do want to be a little bit careful for our low HP party members. We're going to head south to Beregost. Emwayne kind of pipes up. The cool thing about Beregost is that there's a lot of opportunities for us to get experience through little mini quests that we can do. We're going to do a few of them, but there are going to be some that we don't touch because they could potentially be very lethal for our party. So, but we are going to go explore the town as soon as Emwyn is done having her little bit with us. Talking about what she's going to do now that she's in the quote-unquote big city of Beregost. By the way, you'll also notice just about now that the entire map is going to open up. Part of the tweaks I have is that for cities, since they're all mapped out already, we have them all explored on our maps already. So, as we're going through, one of the we gotta kind of highlight a couple of key places. Kagan's shop is where you can pick up another NPC. We have a bunch of taverns that we can visit. Firebeard Elvenhair, we ran into him at Candlekeep. It does have one of the best opportunities to get some custom weapons.
So hard to find.
So Firebeard is looking for a copy of a book called The History of the Fateful Coin, which is exactly what we picked up at the Friendly Arm Inn. So we might as well just hand that over, and we can get a little bit of experience for it.
Decent folk
but most importantly, he also gives to us a book, which is, that's neither here nor there. We also get a scroll case, which is very useful for having mages and scroll management. So this inn, I'm actually going to go in on my own because Montron will do something really horrible if we go in with him. At least this first time.
I stand ready.
So we're going to go in independently.
Here now, get out. I don't like your type in here.
We're stopped by this guy, Marl.
You tell him, Marl.
Now, the cool thing is...
With ease.
Well, okay, not cool thing, but Marl has a little bit of beef with any adventurers that come into Field Post Inn.
Are you talking to me?
He basically calls us out. He says that we mess up the local economy, we screw around with nature when we cast our silly magic. The best thing to do, first respond with no need to bend out of shape. And then when he kind of pushes us a little further, says, hey, look, we're trying to do the best we can. We nearly always do right. Well, most always. Right? But then he kind of pushes us a little further. And he kind of calls us out for inspiring kids to go out and get themselves killed, right? We can respond in a couple different ways, but I think one of the best way to respond is to say, well, hold on a second, right? What I do doesn't impact what you and your family does, right? So it's, people going out on their own, it's what is destined to happen, whether or not I'm involved. And he says that's not true. He was a good kid. Obviously, this guy has some deep resentment, deep personal resentment towards adventurers because of what happened to his son. And so he says, listen, your son was a hero. Your son went out and, heard the calling of being an adventurer. And he says, no, he was going to be a good kid. And his friend, he's like, hey, listen, dude, all fun's fun, but going after these adventurers just because, our boy went off and got himself killed, that's not fair. And it's kind of a regretful thing, but we can kind of calm down the circumstance, right? if you don't end up doing this, you'll end up getting into a fight. It's really stupid, right? He challenges you to like fisticuffs. If you have Matron in here, Matron will just straight up kill him, which is horrible and leads to hit to your reputation, and you lose out on 900 experience, which for the early game is pretty nice to get. So we're going to avoid bringing Matron in there. We're going to go and further explore Beregost. We're going to go into this inn, the Jovial Jester.
Me timber's bad enough without ye bothering me.
Stopped by this guy, Gurk. Now, Gurk, it's weird, right? So Gurk is referring to a forest that we can't access until chapter 4, which is kind of silly that he's bringing it up now, but
yes,
part of the world, right? This is a paladin, Bjornen, and Bjornen talks to us about a couple of half-ogres. He says that they have fortified. They're not fortified. So this is one of the NPC interactions that we have with Jaheira. Jaheira asks if there's any nature lore that you want to learn about, and we can certainly take her literally, or we can ask her about her relationship with Khalid. And she kind of talks a little bit about how her and Khalid first met, if we kind of push her onto it. And I think this does a nice job of kind of adding more to the character. It's, by the way, in Baldur's Gate 2, they have much more of these interactions, and they're like voice acted. So I think the NPC interactions project is definitely a mod worth picking up. There are NPC interactions that aren't so great. For example, I mentioned about Montaron going murderous in the Philpost Sin. That's not necessarily a good thing, but that is from the NPC interactions. So we're going to go down south. We are going to head right back up to Beregost, but I want to run down south real quick because there is a fight that we can do to get a key quest item for a little mini quiz. Mini quest. These are Ogrelins. Ogrelins are like half-breeds between orcs and ogres, so kind of gross.
Nature's servant awaits.
We're going to cast spells, including Sunscorch.
Yes, I stand ready.
And we're going to pick up this scroll here, which appears to be a message to a lady named Marianne. And we also see the body of a halfling there, too.
I serve the Flaming Fist.
These are the Flaming Fist mercenaries, right? Now, the Flaming Fist are kind of like law enforcement, but they're like private law enforcement that are hired by the city of Baldur's Gate. So on one hand, they are kind of the cops, but on the other hand, they're like an elite mercenary group that acts as the cops. So you can fight them here, but typically it's not a good idea for like a level 1 party to try face off against 3 dudes in plate armor. You can face them if you're a little bit stronger. They're not insanely strong, but you might as well just like let them pass, because I think they're only a very tiny amount of experience points if you kill them.
The fallen!
So at this point, we're going to go and we're going to take out some of the hobgoblins in this area.
Have become death, destroyer of worlds. Suck your
And
booty.
keep our thieves away. Bring my guy up to the front like he should be.
Yes, oh omnipresent authority figure.
Yes?
And there we go. Grab the coins. We also can grab these boots. They do a nice little bonus to...
Trees move. Do you not see?
They do a nice little bonus to stealth opportunities. Good for Montron. Come upon this cave.
It will be done.
Cave is nice because it has a couple of items that we can use.
It will be done.
Healing potions, a little bit of gold, and a scroll that we can either memorize or we can sell. It's not a great spell. It's expedient.
Can I
retreat. Then we have Jaheira. She asks us about the remains for Gorion, right? And there's a couple different ways. It's a little bit weird that a druid is asking us about how we should want to bury the dead, but I think it's kind of touching into her kind of mixed side as being a being a friend to Gorion and thinking about kind of how to inter his remains to his wishes. And as nice as it would be to return him
It
to
will be
Candlekeep,
done.
we really can't due to the strict rules that they have there. So,
It will be
we're
done.
going to head to the temple. And heading into the temple, a couple different services that we can get
Not
from
a
the temple.
problem.
Welcome. The traveling
A
adventurer
couple
is
key
never
things.
turned away
First
from the
off
house
is that
of
we can
Lothair.
spend gold here to get reputation
Important.
boosts. We can also identify certain objects.
It will be done.
And then we can also get healing,
With ease.
and there's a couple of like potions that we can buy as well, right? Again, always a good idea
Not a
to
problem.
learn about the areas around. Marianne's house is here. We're gonna go ahead and return the letter. Hopefully, get a little bit of a reward for that. She does this annoying thing where she
Not a
moves around her
problem.
house. Like people shouldn't be moving around their house. She should just sit in one spot for hours on end, causing me to have to pause.
Salutations.
Yes?
All right.
Not a problem.
So, we have another ring here. This is another ring of protection. I think it's high time that we go to High Hedge and get some additional
problem.
spells for our wizard, our mage. Along the way, we're going to run into skeletons, and we're also going to run into a group of gnolls.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Something
So,
troubling you?
always be ready to
My
cast
blade will
spells.
cut you
It's
down to size.
kind of sad that you had to pause the game every time you
I
wanted to start
can,
casting a
but
spell.
try.
We are going to take this opportunity to try summoning bats. Again, summons aren't
Yes?
phenomenal unless you're using them for kind of sort of crowd control. The bats aren't doing that much damage, but they are
I stand ready.
doing a nice
Present
little amount.
authority figure.
Get your hero up to level 2, give her a little bit more
Stand ready.
resilience and fighting. We find Purdue's short sword, and we fight some skeletons. The thing about skeletons,
I stand
there's a ton
ready.
of them around High Hedge. Using
Those the guy. I
using
must.
range on them, unfortunately, only does 1 damage each, so it's not a good idea to have them just with range. We do get a
Not a
skull,
problem.
which is a bit unusual
Not a problem.
for skeletons to drop skulls.
I be Thalantir, a mighty
But that will be
mage
important for a
of
quest we do later
Beregost.
on, and it's going to also involve this guy,
Why do
Thalantir.
I live in such a pissant town?
So Thalantir has magic items to sell. I saw one kind of post about how to get more experience, that you could try killing Thalantir. That's just dumb. Don't do that. Thalantir has a ton of spells and magic items that you can buy, and you can also sell your stuff to him. Don't do something dumb like try to kill him.
With ease.
We go back to Beregost. Now that we have Identify, we also picked up another spell, Sleep. Sleep is a phenomenal crowd control spell. We saw that used against us at
Keep your distance.
used
I doubt your
in
motives
our
are
friendly
as
arm
clear.
in. Tarnish used it on us. And this town crier tells us about a guy named Basilius. Basilius is raising the dead, and he is causing havoc out west, southwest of us. Of course, Monteron is intrigued, Mr. Necromancer. So there's a lady here, Silky. She is one of those bards that's very, very deadly. And if we start her quest, we could potentially have to fight her. In here,
I'll do
There's
your
a guy named
end of your
Carlet.
rope, I'll wager.
oh, guess what? He's a bounty hunter. So we set our party up to shoot at him if he were to run outside. We're going to use Monteron to kind of pull him out. And
I'll do your toil.
he doesn't come outside. Drat. Okay, so new plan. Stab him. Hide in shadows and stab him. Okay. We did not backstab him because we weren't literally facing his
I'll do
back.
your toil.
Kind of annoying.
Lightly.
And the rivers
Okay,
run
so,
red!
Fun fact, your weapons can break. Which is kind of what happened here. His weapon broke, and so now all he has is his fist. So we might as well go in there and just beat the schnot out of him. Karlach can do a fair amount of damage. He is a dwarven fighter, so pretty gnarly in the fight. And this is Purdue. It's kind of dumb. He kind of goes through this bit. I kind of wish that you could just be like, hey, here's your sword right away. But you have to go through this whole bit where you have to guess what he's talking about. And then you have to insult him, right? It's kind of weird. Matron, of course, calls him out for being a halfling who lost his sword. And so we offered to get him back his sword, which we have already. So we're going to do that. At this point, now is a good time for us to head down south. We're going to head to this mountain region, and we're going to continue on the path. There's a lot more that we can do in Beregost, and if we had more resilience, we would do so.
Not a
On
problem.
future walkthroughs, we will definitely explore more of Beregost. And maybe when we're back in town, we will hit up Beregost again. So, take out a couple of hobgoblins on the road. Because, the cops aren't going to do it, so we might as well vigilante ourselves
I
out
stand ready.
to fight the bandits. I am right in the
Not a
front,
problem.
so... Yeah,
Yes?
if you ever misclick, just click on the X, it cancels the order.
My blade will cut
Of
you
course,
down to
Emily
size.
wants to get into
I've
melee,
done
which
had
is
enough of
a
this.
scary thing for her to do.
I stand ready.
At this point, we can...
It will be.
We take a blow, you see that
Yes?
at level 1, any blow could be pretty gnarly against us. And that hobgoblin got a critical hit on us, but because we have a helmet, we don't take the
I
full
stand
double
ready.
damage. That would have definitely killed us, though. We got, colloquies.
I'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs.
I apologize, I have to pause anytime
You spoke at me?
Zar does something silly, like has a silly quote or anything like that, because it's Fred Welker, who is a voice acting legend, and I'm like, okay, I really gotta listen to whatever this crazy dialogue is. So Matron, by the way, is a halfling, and halflings are known for their cooking ability. It's kind of part of their culture. But Matron, of course, combining it with the fact that he's kind of an assassin, he, of course, talks to us a great deal about the way he cooks food. So yes, so our goal is to get down a little further south, and then we will kind of wrap it up after we rest.
Don't
This
touch
is Lord
me.
Foreshadow,
I might catch
talking about areas that we will never see in the Baldur's Gate series. There's a real foreshadowing character that we will meet in the town of Mashcal. But with Lord Foreshadow, he's kind of nice, kind of talks to us a little bit about the areas, and Emmeline's going to pipe up and say she wants to go. So, but that'll be for another day. That'll never happen.
Yes?
So that'll be it for today.
Not a problem.
Take care and good luck. We're all counting on you.